Hi, I'm here at the Oslo airport and this video is going to be slightly different than usual. I'm about to fly from here all the way to Melbourne, Australia, but usually I'm not really looking forward to spending almost 24 hours in the air, but this time I have the unique opportunity to spend it on Singapore Airlines in business class. So let me take you on this journey with me. Singapore Airlines, last year ranked by Skytrax as the world's best airline, are known for their excellent service, cabin crew, and their product overall. They operate numerous direct routes between Europe and their hub in Singapore, contributing both to tourism and business in Singapore, as well as a hub for people traveling onwards to other destinations in Asia or Oceania, serving as an interesting alternative compared to the more traditionally used transit hubs in the Middle East. Singapore Airlines are known for their incredible first-class suites and great business class on their A380s, but what's their long-haul business class cabin on the smaller Airbus A350 like? Well, in today's video, we are going to find out, as I will have 20 hours on board Singapore Airlines to try it out. My journey starts in Oslo, Norway. Oslo Airport has a very elegant Scandinavian design and is personally one of my favorite airports in Europe. After a smooth check-in and security, I quickly hopped inside the SAS lounge. The lounge was quite nice, had a quiet area, decent food selection, though after a while it started to get quite busy already, so we slowly headed to our gate where we boarded a short SAS flight from Oslo to Copenhagen. Even though I had a business class ticket already from Oslo, this is how a business class on SAS looked like. There wasn't even a block middle seat, and the only difference between economy was a free drink and a small snack. It didn't matter that much though, because after 50 minutes, we have already landed in Denmark's capital of Copenhagen. We just arrived to Copenhagen, but our flight to Singapore leaves in about 45 minutes, so we don't have the time to check out lounge here in Copenhagen and are just going directly to the gate. At the gate, this beautiful Airbus A350 was already waiting for us. Copenhagen to Singapore is one of Singapore Airlines' newer routes, and it seemed that it was quite popular as the flight was pretty full. Soon the priority boarding commenced and we have entered the business class cabin. There are a total of 42 business class seats in 1-to-1 configuration with the main cabin as well as the mini cabin. The seats have a modern design and unlike on many other airlines, they aren't in staggered layout, meaning both even and odd numbered seats are exactly the same. This is partially made possible by the fact that the footrest is placed not in front of the seat, but rather at an angle, something I was a bit afraid of as it seemed quite awkward at first. The seats on the other hand are very wide, almost like a first class on some carriers, so there should be a lot of room to move around. And with that, it was time to get to my window seat for the next 12 hours, 17K. The seat is indeed very spacious, there's a plenty of leg room, and in front you have this 18-inch screen with in-flight entertainment. The table comes out from the side like this, and there's an extensive menu waiting for today's flight. Soon after we board, cabin crew offers a welcome drink. I went with water. Then I was offered a hot towel, which is always a nice touch on a plane, and after a while, we take off from Copenhagen on time. After reaching our cruising altitude, the crew begins serving the lunch. I am first presented with an appetizer, mix of vegetables as well as my drink of choice, which was some kind of mocktail. It then took another 40 minutes before the next course arrived, a grilled zucchini with feta cheese and lettuce, as well as the pastry of choice and olive oil. It was nicely presented, although I think that for example Turkish Airlines has a slightly nicer meal presentation, with their cute salt and pepper as well as the artificial candle. The main course was this kind of baked potatoes with cheese, mushrooms and some baked vegetables. And for dessert, I couldn't actually choose between two of them, so I picked them both. Bowl of fresh fruits and this incredibly good mascarpone thing with strawberries. So we are about 3 hours into our flight. I just finished my dessert and the meal was absolutely delicious, both the starter, main meal and now the dessert. But the only thing was that the starter came by like 40 minutes prior to the main meal, so it was a bit of a wait, but no problem. And now the last thing, I'm enjoying iced oat latte, which is crazy that you can have this in the sky. And now I think I'm gonna do a bit more work and then I'll try to get at least a few hours of sleep before arriving to Singapore. I did some editing for a few hours before deciding that I'm gonna try and get some rest. A lovely cabin crew came to help me transform the seat into a bed. That's when I found out that the footrest at an angle is actually not even slightly uncomfortable, because of the fact that the seat is so wide that you have enough space even if you lay diagonally. Well, good night and see you in a few hours. Well, I didn't get barely any sleep here, just maybe an hour or so, but I'm not really surprised because for my body it's still just 6 or 7 p.m. European time. So it was more of just laying and trying to fall asleep for 3 to 4 hours, but by that time we've already started approaching Singapore and an early breakfast was served. First, there was this very decent selection of fruits, consisting of just 4 pieces, plus a pastry of choice. Before the main part, beans, eggs, some greens and tomatoes arrived. We have only about an hour left before landing in Singapore after 12 hours. We'll be landing at 6 a.m. local time, and then we have about 1 hour layover before transiting to another flight directly to Melbourne. And these 12 hours went by so fast. We just had a breakfast and yeah, it's incredible. It's a complete game changer when you can stretch out your legs and lie down. And I could be flying like this all the time. It's just a whole different experience, but it will be very painful once I will get back to economy. After 11 and a half hours from the takeoff, we have started our descent into morning Singapore, where we have landed 15 minutes after 6 a.m. local time, still in complete darkness. As we had only 1 hour layover, there wasn't the time to check out the Singapore Airlines lounge, and we just headed straight to the gate for our flight to Melbourne. But where we found that there is some airplane issue being sorted out and we're gonna have a delay. So we're already at the gate for our next flight to Melbourne, and we were supposed to start boarding about 10 minutes ago, but they said that there's some engineering issue that is being sorted right now. So I looked outside the window and I saw really sophisticated Singaporean techniques of engineering as a bunch of guys just started to tape the outside door from the cargo of the plane with some yellow tape. So I hope they will repair it very soon and we will start boarding in a few moments hopefully. Soon after, we really started to board the plane. Our ride for 7 hours to Melbourne was again Airbus A350 in the same long-haul configuration. This time, however, I decided to try out the mini cabin, which I however changed right after takeoff as there was a group of quite noisy children in here. I got settled into my seat and was quickly given a welcome drink. I chose orange juice this time. And right after that, a quick refreshment with a hot towel. And with about 15 minutes delay, we have started rolling on the runway and then took off to Melbourne, with some absolutely stunning views of morning Singapore. I was so tired on this flight that after changing the seat and having a quick snack, which was some sandwich, I fell asleep immediately for a few hours, waking up about 2 hours before landing, already above Australia, just as a late lunch was served. First course was some kind of a salad with a falafel, before getting the main course, which I ordered using Book the Cook service that Singapore Airlines offer. The meal I just got isn't any regular meal that can be found on the menu, but it's actually a unique feature of Singapore Airlines called Book the Cook. and it's the thing that you can book in advance some kind of special meals that you wouldn't be able to get on the plane. And I got this one. It's some kind of aubergine with rice and some vegetables. Looks very nice. The only thing that you have to be a bit careful of is that the rest of the menu, I mean the appetizer, desserts, all come from the standard menu. So if you're a vegetarian like me, you then cannot choose to have different option for starters, which is something to be a bit careful of. The meal had a very nice taste, and even though I was quite full now, I still of course had to keep some room for the desserts. There's just about 1.5 hours left before this 24-hour long journey from Oslo to Melbourne, Australia ends. And I have here my last meal of the flight. I have some dessert selection of fruits, vanilla ice cream, and I have one espresso coming as well. And overall, Singapore Airlines Business Class is really good. The thing that stands out the most probably is just the crew, because they are so incredibly nice. They are always asking you if you don't want anything, if you're okay, and they are non-stop just walking around, and it's incredible. I think that's definitely what makes this product so great. After finishing the ice cream, we have already started our descent into Melbourne, for which I moved back to a window seat. In a few moments, I could already see Melbourne from the window, and a while later, after 24 hours since departing Oslo, Norway, we touched down at the Melbourne Tourmaline Airport. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you again. Bye-bye. And after 24 hours, we reached our destination, Melbourne, Australia. It's already evening here, 6 p.m. and the 24-hour journey was very nice and very comfortable. Now it will be, again, very hard to return back to economy. So this is where our 7-week-long adventure around Australia, Oceania and Asia begin, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm incredibly grateful that I got this opportunity to try out Singapore Airlines Business Class. And I will see you again soon in another video, this time already from special places here in Oceania.